Good afternoon, everyone. From many questions that keep coming in on what's the number one thing that I need to focus on, or what's the number one thing I need to change if I want to solve my problems around alcohol. And I've been thinking all morning about this, and could change tomorrow or the next day, but up until right now, I really believe that there is one standard in which we must learn and develop in order to change any and all problems around addiction. Hey Ben. So where did this come from? Well, one of my mentors in life, I believe Australia's best coach, Sharon Pearson, the founder of the Coaching Institute, once told me, she said, "Tom, show me your goals and I'll see what you want, but show me your standards and I'll be able to predict your future." And that was a massive wake-up call for me, because I had all these goals around, I'm not going to drink, or goals around, I'm going to save money and not play the poker machines. And I had all these goals that I kept saying I was going, to go after. However, a goal, really, you're telling someone what it is that you want. Okay, so a goal is something that you want. Your standards are your daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly habits and rituals that you do over and over and over again. Or they produce your outcomes in life. Hey Shauna, hey Chris, hey Jack. So your standards predict your future. Now, that was a wake-up call for me, and it probably is for many watching, because we can all have goals. We can have whatever goals we want, but if we're not reaching those goals, well, it's something in our standards that need to shift, right? Hey mate, great to have you here. So what's the number one standard that we must change in order to solve our problems around alcohol and our consumption with alcohol? Okay, now there's many standards that we can have. Your standards will determine, as I said, whether your life's quite resourceful or not so resourceful. As an example, if you went to work with someone who was a health coach, and they said, I'm going to be the best health coach, and I'm going to be, the biggest, and I'm going to serve more people than ever before, that would sound great. However, if you looked at their standards, and their standards sound something like this: my standards are I go to the gym once a week. My standards are I eat healthy twice a week. My standards are I have 2 KFC meals a week. These are their standards, what they do over and over again. So you'll be able to determine whether they're right for you pretty much straight away. And this is where I'm working with clients and asking them what their standards are as opposed to what their goals are. Because they can tell me their standards and I'll predict their future. Now, the number one standard that I've just never heard any of my clients and myself when I was struggling with alcohol have is the standard of what we call sticking to our commitments or following through with our promises we make ourselves. All right, so sticking to our commitments. And I always thought I really wanted to solve my problems around addiction with gambling and drinking. I always thought I really wanted to do that. Yet I was never sticking to my commitments. So I would always say one thing and then not follow through with it. And I made this one tweak in my behavior throughout the week, and I started to learn to stick to my commitments. Didn't matter what the external goals were. They're very important to set, but it just didn't matter anymore. I was really determined and focused on sticking to my commitments. So what does this actually mean? How does it actually help? Well, once you have the standard that you stick to your commitments, which I highly believe I have a very strong standard when it comes to stick to my commitments. If I say something, I'm just going to follow through. Now, when you have this standard, you can simply choose whether you are going to drink at an event or not drink. And when you have this standard, you break your cycle of telling yourself you're going to do something and just doing the complete opposite. So if you're someone who's ever said, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, you don't go to the gym. Or you've said, I'm not going to drink this week, or I'm not going to drink tonight, and you drink. Or I'm going to have 4 beers and you have 50 beers. Or I'm going to have 1 wine and I have 3 bottles of wine. Well, you certainly don't have the standard of sticking to your commitments. So if there's one thing you can move forward with and start to practice every single day until it's happening automatically for you, it's sticking to your commitments. And all we need to do in order to do that right now moving forward is list 2 or 3 things you're going to do this week and get them done. Doesn't matter how big or how large. And after that, you're going to realize, bring awareness, and and share with yourself that you're sticking to your commitments. Now, the beautiful thing about this is once you have sticking to your commitments as a standard, problems around alcohol aren't so much when I do or do not drink. The problem is then about whether you choose to drink or not. What do I mean by that? So a lot of people ask me, it's one of the most common questions, they ask me, Tom, do you still drink? And I say, I don't drink that often, doesn't really seem to fit into my lifestyle anymore. You can probably tell why. However, I don't not drink. So if I choose to drink at an event, I'll choose to drink at an event. But if I don't choose, I choose not to drink at an event, or to do 3 months of sobriety, or to go to a wedding and not drink, I just always follow through with my commitment now. So it actually just comes down to choice. And it's a beautiful place to get to when it comes to addiction, because you can choose whether you do or do not want to drink. And I trust this serves you really well. Hey Jane, I trust this serves you really well, because the traditional way or approach I often hear is a life of abstinence, which is I'm not allowed to drink, or I can't drink. However, that takes away the power of choice. And I think freedom comes from choice, and it's probably what you're after as well. You want to have the choice to drink. Okay? So if it's the number one standard you can implement into your daily, weekly, and monthly habits, it's stick to your commitments and keep doing it over and over and over again. And all of a sudden you'll have a relationship with drinking where you either choose to drink and give yourself permission to drink, and even go nuts, like have a heap of beers or wines. I'm not going to judge. Give yourself permission to do that. At least you won't feel shame because you gave yourself permission. Or you'll choose, I'm not going to drink. And no matter how strong the environment is, no matter how many mates or girlfriends or people want you to drink, you just simply won't, because you're sticking to your commitments. This eliminates such a massive problem in the world of alcohol, which is, I've said I didn't want to drink, but then everyone wanted me to drink. I said I didn't want to drink, but it was my birthday. It just doesn't fucking matter. They're all excuses. So if you can learn to stick to your commitments, I tell you right now, we'll have a conversation in 3 months, 6 months, or even a year's time from now, and your life will be ultimately, powerfully, amazingly different in a positive way. I'd love to know if you have any questions, just comment below, and I'd love to rock out and serve you more. Thanks so much for rocking out with me this afternoon. Have a fantastic day,